Okay, so let's take a look at this sentence. I ride an old bike. It's a simple sentence, right? We have ride, which is the action. I am the doer, and an old bike is the receiver. And inside the receiver, we have old bike, which is a...
descriptive fragment.
It's a descriptive fragment. So we saw that descriptive fragments, actually any fragment, that can play a larger role in the sentence. Right, so in this case, it's the receiver.
Right.
So the same thing applies to complex descriptors, right? As a whole, they play a role in a sentence. Right. So if I were to say, I ride an old bike that has squeaky tires, again, we have ride, which is the action, and I, which is the doer. And then this entire thing, what do I ride?
An old bike that has squeaky tires.
An old bike that has squeaky tires, right? So this entire thing is acting as the receiver.
Right.
And then inside that we have bike, which is being described by old and described as having squeaky tires, right? So it's the same concept, right? Complex descriptors also play a role in a sentence.
Okay, and it's considered
One
single
unit.
unit, just like any other fragment is considered a single unit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's look at some examples in Arabic. Here we have وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. So we have rasulun, the word rasulun acting as a noun, the noun, and then it's being followed by a full sentence, قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ, which is acting as our complex descriptor. And this entire thing, right, as a unit, the noun and the complex descriptor is acting as the after is, right?
Okay.
So we have Muhammad sallallahu is only, and then this entire thing is the after is, a messenger before whom messengers have passed.
Okay.
Okay.
So the noun rasul and its description, which is the whole sentence. That's kind of like looking at it in macro, but in micro, like on a sentence level,
right?
It's all after is.
Exactly. The entire fragment on a sentence level is the after is. And then if we zoom in inside, we find our noun and our adjective.
Okay.
Okay. It's just like saying Muhammad is a noble prophet.
Right.
Right? This would be just a simple descriptive fragment acting as the after is. It's the same thing, except only this time it's a complex descriptive fragment. Okay. Here's another one. لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا فِيهِ ذِكْرُكُمْ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So our complex descriptor here is, the noun is kitaban, right? And then فِيهِ ذِكْرُكُمْ is an is sentence coming directly after the general noun. So that's acting as the description. And then as an entire unit, this is acting as the receiver, right? Because it has the receiver label.
Okay.
And so it's translating as, we have certainly sent down, and then what have we sent down? A book in which there is advice for you all.
Okay.
Right, so the entire thing is what we sent down, so the entire thing is the receiver.
Okay.
So inside the receiver, we have a complex descriptive fragment.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah. So it's like any other fragment. It'll play before is, after is, doer, receiver.
Exactly. Before is, after is, doer, receiver. Okay. So here's some tips for spotting a complex descriptor, because I worked you through them, right? But when you open the Mus'haf, you're not going to have these labels. Right. So how do you... If only. So how do you spot it yourself? So this is your tip. When there is a sentence break, right, just go backwards. Check the word before it. And if there's a general word, it's a complex descriptor.
Okay, so you go and label the sentence normally, like finding our sentence breaks like we always have, and then checking before the sentence breaks.
Exactly. We label and work through the sentence exactly as we have done before, but whenever we see that sentence break, we'll just hop over to the word before, and if it's a general word, we have ourselves a complex descriptor. And then you can always backtrack, right? If you end up missing it and translating, right, your translation will probably sound choppy, and if it does, go back and check to see if you missed a complex descriptor.
Okay.
So here's an example. So this is actually the ayah that we saw earlier. وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. But this time with no labels.
Okay.
Right? So if I were to open up the Mus'haf, this is how I'd work through it. So I'd say, okay, we have the Ma'ila template. So we'll ignore that temporarily. And then there's no relationship between Muhammadun and Rasulun, right? Because it's two nouns.
Specific followed by general.
Right, specific followed by general. So there's a break there. And that's where our is goes. And then قد خلت من قبله الرسل, we're starting a new sentence.
Because new action is new sentence.
New action makes a new sentence. And so خلت is my action. Min and قبل are TLDR, and قبله TLDR, and it's noun. And then الرسل is the doer because it has the doer label. Okay, so we'd work through it like we normally do. And then we're going to go check our sentence breaks. So our only sentence break in this sentence is between Rasul and Qad, right? And so we'll look at the word before our sentence break and see if we have a general noun. And we do, right? Rasulun is a general noun, which means we found ourselves a complex descriptor.
Okay.
So this entire thing, Rasulun qad khalat min qablihi ar-rusul, is a descriptive fragment.
Okay, I see. So process is exactly the same.
Work through it the same way.
Except now we've just added the step at the end of
exactly.
Check before the sentence break.
Yeah, it's just one extra step, which is go check your sentence breaks and see if before it there's a general noun.
Okay. So what if like if I had missed it, and then the other tip was about something about the translation sounding choppy?
Yeah.
So if we were to translate this without the complex descriptor?
Yeah, let's do that.
It would be...
So, ما محمد إلا رسول. It would be Muhammad ﷺ is...
only a prophet.
Yeah, nothing but a prophet. Only a prophet. And then if we had missed that, we would have put a period here. And then started a new sentence. And then prophets have passed before him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does seem choppy.
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, it makes sense, but it just kind of seems like you're ending the sentence abruptly. Muhammad is nothing but a prophet. Prophets have passed before him, right? It just kind of seems like the translation sounds choppy.
Yeah, like it's just two statements of fact, and it's just... Okay,
yeah, there isn't much of a flow. So then you say, that sounds a little choppy. Let me go back, see if I missed a complex descriptor.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you do this, the first step, if you follow that, hopefully you won't miss your complex descriptors.
Gotcha.
All clear?
Yeah, so complex descriptors act like any other fragment. They can play any role, meaning before is, after is, doer, receiver.
Right.
And then in order to spot it, follow the same process, find your sentence breaks, and then check the word before your sentence breaks. That's the additional step.
And if it's general, you have yourself a complex descriptor.
Got it.